Hello and happy Tuesday to you. Melty kind of sun now out there in downtown Regina, anywhere. I don't know where you are. Around the province, or around the country. If you're on the web, you can be listening to us anywhere. We're here for the next 3 hours. Colson is with me on the other side of the board. He's going to chime in from time to time. It is for Saskatchewan Lotteries on Tuesday, the main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in our province. I mentioned the streams. Maybe you want to watch the program. SportsCage.com. The YouTube feed is there. Chat window as well. Let's get that buzzing today. And as always, we're on 620 CKRM, which you can pick up almost anywhere in the province, down into the northern United States and around. What do we have for you today on New Year's Eve? Tomorrow's show is really short, condensed. We'll get to that later. Today we do have 3 hours. It is Tiger Woods' 50th birthday. Where's time going? Right? Don't we say that? Don't we say that too often? And it's like, oh, they're growing up. And if you have kids, you get it. Because it was like, what just happened? Like they were over there and we have pictures and they didn't have teeth and and then now they're like going to parties and planning parties. And it's like, but Tiger Woods, 50 years old today. You don't have to respect the man, Tiger Woods. And I know a lot of you out there won't. But I don't know how you don't respect the athleticism. What he did in the game of golf for that stretch where every weekend it was like, why is everyone else even playing? Like, really? Like, what? The one that was at the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach, which he just absolutely abused the course and the field, and it wasn't even close, and it was a U.S. Open, which the U.S. Open, USGA doesn't like anything on getting embarrassed, but that's what he did. He was unbelievable, and he brought so many people to the sport. That is non-debatable. It's like Wayne Gretzky and hockey in the Southwest or California. If you've ever talked to anybody from around there, and they were kind of that 80s, 90s, and the dad got into it, and then the kids started getting it. That's how it happened. It wasn't like they just all of a sudden were, surfing one day and thought, well, hockey. What about hockey? No, it was Wayne Gretzky and the hype and everything that he brought down there. But Tiger Woods, 50 years old. I don't know if you had to ask me, maybe ask Eric Francis this, because he's a big golfer. What would be your most memorable Tiger Woods memory? I would say that last Masters he won with his kids there, and where it was, I don't know, how old was he? 46, 44, 45, somewhere in there. That one, maybe a little more recency bias on that. And then the one where he won the British Open or the Open at St. Andrews, again, demolished, and he didn't hit a bunker or something. And he just manipulated his way around that golf course, played the wind, played the terrain. 50 years old, Tiger. We all want to see him back playing if you're a golf fan. Of course, just like Mike Tyson boxing at 60. We wanted to see that. Of course we want to see that. It wasn't good. Now we want to erase it from our memories. But we saw it. What has happened since we last talked? Since I was last here in this room, talking to Colson, talking to you out there. Sam Emilus. He was the player when we asked people, who do you think they need to sign now? Like Trevor Harris locked in. Okay, who do you got? And then we got Jamarcus Hardrick, and then Thomas Berton-Hurdon, and Tommy Stevens, and it's like, hey, and it was like Sam Emilus. When's this going to happen? Love the Rider people. Love the group over there. What they'd done. Hey, championship. Can't complain. 5th one. But on New Year's Eve?
Christmas Eve?
On Christmas Eve, I mean? Thanks. They announced it on Christmas Eve. I get the present and probably signed a few days earlier and they want to release it. But I'm like, even the die hard, the jock sniffers, as I call them, they were busy doing other things. It's like this week and next week, there's nothing really going on. They got some World Junior stuff going on. It's like, could we not put it out then? It's just, I feel the smoke and the hype and everything around it. It was like, yeah, Christmas Eve. What's going on? I'm running around with my head cut off. You got people cooking, getting last minute gifts, getting this car. It was so cold too. My car, I had car issues. And I'm like sitting in Saskatoon trying to get things repaired. Shout out Market Tire on Ottawa and Saskatoon. Salt of the earth people. And all it was ice. I've never had ice in my gas line. They figured that's what. Have you ever had that?
I haven't had that. Definitely water or ice in the car though. I haven't, but like my cousin, I think it was cousin or brother.
Cousin?
Yeah, I think it was cousin who had like water somewhere in the car, not in the engine. Anything in the engine, is bad. But yeah, getting water or ice in the car, yeah, that's a dicey one. So
that's what they figured it was anyway. And my tires were really low, which I didn't think they were. And then they joked. They said, "Well, you don't have air compressors in Regina?"
Very funny.
But they got me up and running, and they could have charged me. Oh, I'm not going to say whatever, but they could have, greased me a bit. It was like Christmas Eve morning, and nope. They basically charged me what that little can of fluid was, and that was it. They ran system checks, everything. I was like, seriously? So then I left a nice review. I really wanted to take something by there, but I was so lost for time. Maybe the next time I'm in town. So Market Tire, Ottawa, shout out to you. But Christmas Eve, Sam Emelis, back with the Riders, getting paid, getting some dough. And he's Canadian, so you don't have to go, well, it's Canadian, but then he's going to take it back to the States. No, it's Canadian haroshi. It's Canadian lettuce, Canadian cabbage. $285 in 2026. Probably some marketing money will be on top of that. Playoff money is always on top of that, as we found out. And then $290 in 2027. That's real. That's a real salary in the country of Canada.
Was it $290 or $295? I thought it was $295.
We'll call it.
Either way.
Let's meet in the middle. So anywhere around that. $100K guaranteed as well. So great signing. Glen Suitor is coming up in hour 3. We will talk to Glen about this. I want to make sense of it, and I know there's a lot of people about the cap and going over and what's going to happen and the soft cap and that. I remember when Maz and I used to talk and do the show. Go over the cap. Win the championship, pay the fine. Bob's your uncle.
Yeah. First $100,000, it's no big deal. Start losing draft picks, okay. Now we'll be careful, but yeah.
But if you win a championship, take a draft pick. That's okay. So we'll talk to Glen Suitor in hour 3. Also, let's work our way backwards on the show. Glen's in hour 3. Hour 2, Pump Jacks Cathedral Trivia. $50 to Pump Jacks today. World Junior Hockey based question. And we're going to give you the question before. And then we're going to take a caller and then $50. Go get a pint, some ribs, Kerwin's Crispy Ribs. Pump Jacks Cathedrals, Albert and 13th. Live music on weekends. Kids allowed till 8. Great place to go watch a game or just hang out. We will have some updates from the Circle K Classic. I'm watching it right now. Moose Jaw and NAX tied 2-2 in the championship round of 16. We'll keep you updated there. Updates from the Viking Cup. We will have Arash Madani in hour 2. He's going to want to talk about CFL, but with Arash, well-versed. Talk about a number of things with Arash. I got some NFL questions that I want to ask. That NFL thing still is up in the air. I don't know. I was in Vegas, luckily, 3 days right before Christmas. Mrs. S and I got away. Really, really good time. Fun. I sprinkled on my Patriots. Am I confident that I took them to win the AFC? Go ahead out there, laugh at me. I'm a Patriots fan, and they're not that bad this year. They've had an easy schedule, yada, yada, yada. And now looks like Diggs is in some hot water. But I took them to win the AFC, but then I'm figuring it out, and I'm like, their first game in the playoffs probably going to be Houston, Los Angeles Chargers, or who's the other? Somebody else. Oh, Buffalo. Not so confident. But I sprinkled. I didn't do well. Played 2 rounds of golf down there at Bally High. Played in the morning, Colson. Went out. I was like, it might be a little chilly. Went out, no wind, 7 a.m. And when you're going through the casino at 6 a.m. ish, people look at you weird with golf clubs because they're just going home. I get it. Sit down, coffee Bailey's, grab it, Uber. Play with 2 gentlemen from Los Angeles. Great time. We beat it around 3.5 hours. No wind. By the end of our round, it's 20 degrees, no wind. I'm sitting there going, okay, well, the wife's at the spa. I know that. I either go play poker, go sit in the sports book. There's lots of stuff going on. What's the replay rate? Guy says $75. I said, I'm going to go over there, have a sandwich and a pint and some French fries, and then I'm going to play again if that's okay. He's like, absolutely. For $75, I said it's minus 40 where I'm from right now. Take my money. So I looped two rounds at Bally High. Oh, I love that golf course. Plus I play it well. It's forgiving, so it helps. And did that. Lost on all my other bets, but I do have that Patriots ticket holding out hope for. And everyone's like, Vegas is so dead. Vegas is so, well, it was right before Christmas. And it wasn't as quiet as the propaganda that we're getting hit on our social medias daily. I don't think. I think they're still doing okay. Like that guitar that they're building is huge. Huge. So did that. That was great. NFL playoff picture, don't know. And then the Olympic team roster announced tomorrow. We got an abbreviated show. I said I'd mention this. Tomorrow it's like only an hour, half hour?
Half hour.
Whew, that's going to be quick. Eric Francis is coming up in moments here, bottom of the hour, NHL Insider. We'll talk to Eric about the Olympic roster. We'll get his team tomorrow. And then he's probably going to say, what do you think? I don't know. I've resigned myself to the fact I don't know. Who do I want there? I don't know them well enough. I kind of really want to see Tom Wilson play. If they don't take him, that's okay. I'm watching Macklin Celebrini more and more and more and more now. What are some of these stats that came out last night? I did the old screenshot thing. Like, this guy's legit. Here, Macklin Celebrini is now on pace to hit 100 points in 65 games this season. 5 teenagers in NHL history have scored 100 in a season. It's possible only one did it faster. So Gretzky did it game 61. Crosby, game 65. Man, Sidney, I always forget how good Sidney Crosby has been. Mario Lemieux did it in 73 games. The late, great Dale Howardchuk, game 74. Jimmy Carson, 76. Ooh. Jimmy Carson. Wagon for 1 year.
For a player under 20 in a season NHL history, Wayne Gretzky, 137 points. Sidney Crosby 120. Celebrini's on pace for 126. Right between them.
And here's the thing about Macklin Celebrini. If anyone is watching, first off, anyone watched Scott Oak and Kelly Rudy's Hot Stove on Saturday night with Connor McDavid? And I was like, oh, do I even stay up and listen to this? Because Connor McDavid doesn't really give great interviews. And he's always seems so annoyed because he does it all the time. And he gets the same questions. It's just like, listen, I just want to go home to Lenny, sit in my cold tub and do nothing. But it was the best for me hot stove that I can remember watching. He went into they went down so many different avenues. Scott asked great questions. Kelly asked different questions. And Connor was just open about it all. I thought it was great. But then during the post game on Hockey Night in Canada, they interviewed Macklin Celebrini after the game against, I think it was Vancouver. Just love everything about the kid. He's a good interview. He's mature. And he's like still so young. So is he a lock for the Olympic team? I'm starting to think so. What are your thoughts? We want you to participate today, as always. Prairieland Rentals text line 306-936-6262. Prairieland Rentals located at 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner. If you're thinking about a snow thrower, because it's still December, January tomorrow or the next day, we're still going to get lots of snow. They do have the Husqvarna snow throwers in stock. Warranty, they are built. They're not the clunky, the snow thrower, you grab it and it's like, that thing's a piece of junk. They're good. So they have them in stock. Anything you need rental-wise, Prairieland Rentals, Prairieland Rentals, 600 Albert Street. Text us, 936-6262. Is Celebrini a lock? Then also put on there, if you want, just put Pats with your comment, 20 words or less, and then at the bottom put Pats. If you want to win 2 tickets to the Pats game tomorrow, 4 p.m. puck drop, Saskatchewan time.
Yep.
Under the orange top. That's why we only have a half hour tomorrow.
Yeah, because their pregame starts at 3:30. So
big pregame show.
Mm-hmm. So
3:30. So for you and me, it's like, okay, what do we do with ourselves? I'm probably gonna go have a pint, pick up dessert for the supper, but we only have a half hour.
Yeah, I'm not used to a 9 to 5. What do I do after 5 o'clock? One more thing on Celebrini. I saw this tweet today from Greg Wyshynski.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about how we value players in the NHL, but what Celebrini is doing for the Sharks is insane. And he's got a graphic up here of the Sharks players sorted by points. Celebrini has 60 this season so far. Will Smith has 29.
If you're watching the stream, Colson has this up here. This is actually very interesting.
Yeah. And then 26, 26, 25. Like, Celebrini is literally carrying the Sharks. Because I think they're in a wild card spot right now, aren't they?
Possibly.
Hold on.
So when you pull this up and I look at it, this reminds me of a senior hockey team player. One guy is just unbelievable. He's in on all the points, all that, and then the other guys just kind of chip in wherever. 60 points.
It's 2 teams per side make the wild card, right? I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because 3 from division. Yeah, San Jose's in a wild card right now. So yeah, Celebrini is literally carrying the Sharks into the playoffs.
Still a lot of season left. Still a lot of season left. Dion from Regina texted in just on my antifreeze thing. He says, I was told from mechanics that gas line antifreeze removes water from the gas tank. Not sure how true that is. Mechanics out there, 936-6262. Okay, before we go to break, I need you to text in here. I need people to walk me through to make sense of this, please. I get it. Born and raised here. Loved, past tense, the World Juniors when I was younger. In the 80s, early 90s, playing street hockey with your buddies. outdoor rink, sponge puck, thinking you're Stephane Fisset, Felix Potvin. I loved it. So don't get me wrong. I can't wrap my head around why we as Canadians have to worry so much about the attendance when anyone else, especially the Americans, host the World Juniors. It's never going to be as popular anywhere as it is here. That's safe to say, right? So then they hosted at Gothenburg last year. Was it last year or the year before? Was Gothenburg last year or somewhere in Canada? Yeah, people are just right from jump. World Junior Hockey attendance. What a joke. Minnesota. What are they doing? Why would this be there? What an embarrassment this World Juniors has been for Minnesota. Empty arenas, no atmosphere, just an all-out fail. So, it's a big area, and don't tell me that Minnesota doesn't love hockey, because I've been there, seen high school hockey, college hockey. Hockey is huge there. They have a lot of different things to do when you get to big cities and all that. So a junior hockey tournament probably isn't up there. And then the other thing that I can't figure out is okay, yes, it's going to be sold out in Edmonton and Red Deer.
Yep.
Is it next year?
Yep.
So what? What kind of vindication do people need that we sell this tournament out more than anyone else? We know that. Who cares? Do you want it in Canada every year? I don't. That's who wants that? These kids, everyone comes over here. If you don't think that TSN fabricated this thing into what it is now, then you're delusional, because it's just a made-for-TV tournament. Look up the under 20 World Championships of soccer, baseball, basketball, U18 World Baseball Cup. Pool A, Japan, Cuba, Italy, South Korea, Puerto Rico, South Africa, United States was in the other. Chinese, Taipei, Panama, Germany, China, Australia. Those are the teams. Television broadcast, nowhere. None. You look at basketball, under 20 basketball, same thing. No one as the official broadcaster. Canada wasn't even there. So then we beat Denmark yesterday. What was it? 9-1? 9-0?
Something. It was 9-1. Pretty sure.
Well, is that what we want again? Like when we would play teams and beat them by 14 goals? And that's where I think it was at the Halifax tournament. Halifax, maybe. Where we were pumping some team by 8 or 9 goals. And we were doing the jersey tug. And we were still jumping into the glass. And I'm like, this is an awful look. This is an awful look. When our basketball team would go play some of these teams and get absolutely spanked. And I know we're really good at basketball now. And we have shade, all that. But let's put it in perspective. We don't want a tournament where we just unload on everybody. And Al Miller was on the show and he said it's a tough tournament to win because everybody's good. And the thing we need to comprehend, come to our senses with, I think, this is just me. Unfortunately, I get this platform today. I'm just like, you don't need 7,000 kids that are good at hockey. For this, you need 20. And most countries have that. And they always do Latvia. There's only 20 hockey rinks in Latvia, and they only have so many players, and they play with a rolled up pair of socks, and they use pails for goals, blah, 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 blah. Whatever.
They took us to overtime.
Because how many of those kids play over here now? The whole scary, the Canadians and the North American style, they don't really give a rip anymore. Because a lot of them play over here, whether it's junior A or major junior or whatever, they don't care. And hockey is so different. The Jordan Tutus and Dion Phaneufs and just the old grid, that's gone. And we don't even play like that ourselves anymore as a nation. So there's just so much around this tournament that every year I'm just like, I'm not angry. I don't really care. I just need someone to make sense of it. Like we will put the most people in buildings to watch the game. Yeah, and then why? So who cares about the Americans and what it looks like in Minnesota? Minnesota, Canada, throw down. It's not going to be full. Yeah, it will. It's still great. TSN's got it covered door to door. Like you would have told me in 1990, your broadcaster are good. They're gonna televise the Switzerland versus Germany game at 1:00 on a Tuesday. I'd say like get lost, but that's what they're doing. And then people are going, look how many empty seats. You put that game in Regina, you tell me that Brandt Center would be full? Lying. I just need make sense of it. 936-62. Let's get along, but come at me. What do we need? Do we need that still? Like, yeah, we sell out hockey rinks. All right. And then do we want to go back to beating teams by 9 or 10 or 14 goals and they come over here, they don't even have matching equipment? Their goalie looks like a street hockey goalie? We don't want that. Come at me. 936-6262. Prairieland Rentals text line. We'll take a break. It's the Sports Cage for Saskatchewan Lotteries on this Tuesday, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. Welcome back for Saskatchewan Lotteries. Crossing a lot of things off the list today. Pat tickets to give away tomorrow versus the Moose Jaw Warriors. 4 p.m. puck drop. If you want those, just text in 936-6262. We'd like you to leave a comment, but then just put Pats and you'll be entered to win the tickets. Ray, Paul, Webster, they all agree with me. Canadians take this tournament, basically, we're too intense. Jeff on the YouTube chat says, I think he means because Canadians are insecure, deeply offended if no one likes this tournament but us. We're here for 3 hours. Just fire at me. Make sense of it. Why do we care how many people are in the stands in Minnesota? There's going to be more in Canada. We'll sell out the rinks. When we go other places, they won't. We want this thing here I even think, what is it, every other year it's here? I think that's too much. Let's go play this thing wherever, other places. Our Pump Jacks Cathedral trivia question in hour 2 is going to be based around that. What do you got, something, Colson?
Yeah, I was just reading on Wikipedia for the World Junior Championship. The IIHF has an agreement with Hockey Canada for that alternating in Canada every year.
Big money.
Yeah. That runs out in 2034. So after that, we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're hosting every odd year right now because, again, Minneapolis, St. Paul this year, Edmonton Red Deer next year, Tampere and Turku in Finland for 2028.
Big hockey place.
And then Quebec City and Trois-Rivières. Yeah, for 29.
And just massive dough. Massive dough. Like I said, take me back to 1990. Man, was it 9? Whenever Stéphane Fissé was the goalie, and my buddies and I just playing with the sponge puck at King George outdoor rink, we thought that was at its core, that was the best. And then the year that Canada hosted, or Saskatoon hosted, and they won, John Slaney slap from the point. It was so good. That's the first year TSN took it over. And now it is just made for TV, and everybody else is good. And Canadians, not everybody, don't like it.
Fissé played in 89 and 90 by the looks of it. Oh,
deadly low stance.
And Canada won in 90. That was our 4th gold medal at the time.
Also, didn't we win in 91?
And 91.
In Saskatoon. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's where we beat teams by like 16 goals. The rumor is Harry would be able to, if he was on the show. The rumor was it Austria? Was Austria in 91 at the tournament? Do you have that there? Was it Norway? Norway. The rumor was Norway players had to share sticks. And their goalie looked like
Norway finished
street
0-7
hockey.
with a goal differential of -67.
Yeah, that's no good for anybody.
No.
It would be like us, like I said, when we go to the U under 20.
Yeah.
Basketball we're better at now.
Yeah.
We're good at a lot of sports.
Norway lost 11-3 to Czechoslovakia, 13-0 to the Soviet Union, 10-1 to Canada, 10-2 to Finland, 19-1 to the US,
Yeah.
2-1 to Switzerland, and then 10-0 to Sweden.
Pavel Bure just buzzing up and down there for the... Let's get this guy's take on it for Sports Select. Let's get into it. Our NHL insider, Eric Francis.
Now for Inside the NHL with Eric Francis on the SportsCage. Inside the NHL is brought to you by Sports Select. Getting in on more of the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer.
Hit. Yes, nice. You got that for Christmas, didn't you, that hat? If you're watching the stream, Eric Francis got a new hat for Christmas.
Yeah. I can't get enough of the espresso martinis, man. I know it's all the rage now. I've been into it for a couple of years. That was my gateway to coffee. Can you believe it? I never had a coffee in my life till like 2 years ago. Then I had an espresso martini, and now I drink a latte every single day. Anyway, this is too much sharing.
I hope my wife is actually listening to this because we were in Vegas for 3 days. Valley High looped it twice, same day. Oh yeah. But she loves the espresso martinis, but she can't get onto like regular coffee. The cold coffee, all that auto. But just a regular coffee, I'm like, how can't you do a regular coffee? And you know what I'm big on? I've jumped into the trendy. I feel like I need a real tight sport jacket and some tight jeans. The coconut tequila. And old fashions. Really? And since the last Mountain Distillery was in here before Christmas, I'm an old fashioned kind of guy.
Wow. Yeah. I don't like the old fashions, but I've been big into the peanut butter whiskey for about 4 or 5 years with, perfect birdie juice, the whole city. That's all anyone drinks here. And then the Sheepdog is the brand I always buy. And I bought so much of it, they gave me a free batch because I bought over 40 bottles the year before. That sounds like an alcoholic, but it's the perfect gift for friends. I swear I don't drink much of it. Well, I drink a lot of it. But then now they've got me on the peanut butter tequila. And tequila, I always say about tequila, I'd say 8 of the 10 worst decisions I've made in my life all revolve around tequila. So it's kind of one of those drinks I stay away from. But now that they got peanut butter tequila, if you get a chance to try it, it is so good.
Peanut butter tequila. I definitely will try that. I'm rolling hat today too. I didn't get in for a haircut. So now I'm on the wait list. It's trouble. We got trouble in the back here. It's like a mullet. I don't know what's going on. So hopefully not too many people are watching the YouTube stream today. I got to ask you, I want your take on the World Junior Hockey Championships. I've been talking about it. I don't know if you caught that before we came on. I just, right out of the gate, and it's on social media, and everyone is just like complaining about the crowds and the tickets in Minnesota and how it's, embarrassing and all. I'm just like, why? I'm like, who cares? We sell it out. Yay. What?
I know. It's funny how we complain about how the world doesn't understand how great our game is, yet we don't want to share it. We don't want it to go to Minnesota. We criticize them for not filling it. It does stand out. Like, I will admit, I'm watching early in the tournament, I think it was a Sweden game, and I'm like, there's no one in there. Well, I get it. You can't expect the Americans to give a crap about that game. Look, Canadians don't fill every game either when the World Juniors comes here. I've covered enough of them to know when you get to a smaller play. I remember covering the one in '95 in Red Deer. And yeah, every single game was a sellout. Well, it was a smaller rink. It was a dub rink. It was a great venue, great size. But let's pump the brakes. Like, I'm not a nut about the World Juniors. I'm like one of the only guys who doesn't watch it. I'm only curious this year because of Zane Parekh and Cole Reshny, and there's a lot of reasons why. McKenna, there's interest this year. Aginla, I want to watch these guys. But I'm not one of these guys whose entire Christmas holidays revolves around the schedule. I'll watch it if it's available, and if it's not, I don't really care. It's not. I guess I'm like an American that way.
Yeah, well, I remember the other thing that I remember is my father, and I think it was CBC that covered it, the punch up in Piastani, and I
was
remember
going to bring that up.
I remember our little TV, and you had to turn the knob, and it was on there because it was just like it was a crapshoot. On it was like, when does Canada play? Does Canada play today? What time do they play? They're over in who knows where. It's on at like 10 or 11. It was a crapshoot to play. So then you'd sit there and watch it, and then all you wanted to do was go play with your buddies. At least I did. Let's go play street hockey.
Yeah.
I want to pretend I'm John Slaney, or bad example. I want to pretend I'm Mike Craig.
Well, I'm too old to have grown up watching, being influenced by the World Juniors. It wasn't a thing when I was a kid. It wasn't. But 87 was the punch up in Piastani, which happened to be in Piastani, coincidentally, just so you're aware. That was on CBC. I'll never forget Don Cherry doing the color. And he was going up. He wasn't coloring this, but they went to him in studio, and that's a whole other great story. People don't know this punch up in Piastani. Do yourself a favor, just Wikipedia it, because it is a fascinating story. And they shut off the lights to try and stop this incredible line brawl. There were guys who got just mangled, and they're getting triple teamed. It was awful. It was not good for hockey, but I remember it. And listen, TSN deserves a ton of credit for what they've done with this product and take it to the level it is now. The World Juniors was not a thing for many, many years. TSN made it a thing, and I give them credit for that, because it is appointment viewing for a lot of Canadians. Not me, but a lot.
They've done, to your point, yes, they have. But at the end of the day, you and me too, we're businessmen. Used to have a nice little breakfast spot in Calgary. If this thing ain't making money, TSN isn't doing it because they're good humans. Like, this thing makes money. It's the sponsors and everything, and then the money that has to be guaranteed when you host it. That's why people are like, why did Saskatoon and Regina, why were they passed up not to host it? Because Edmonton and Red Deer, who knows what their bid was on the absolute millions of dollars, and that there's got to be side deals and back scratching and expensive tequila dinners that guys are going on, that it's like, who knows? And I don't really care. I don't. The only thing that bothers me is like the fact that I said, let's just get over the fact that these other countries aren't going to sell out the games. Okay. And the other thing, it's like, do we want this hosted in Canada every year? I don't like that. Like you said, grow the game, play it wherever. And hopefully every team like Latvia becomes a solid competitor where we're in a game. You're in a heater.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you want to make it an event. You want to make it have a big-time feel, and the games in Canada feel that way for sure. If you experiment in some of the other cities that it's not hitting as big, it does take away from the spectacle that we've expected, and that's why people get angry, I think, saying, oh, we could have sold that out. I did lament the fact that I don't know what year. I could probably peg it if I looked at all the schedule of all the events that were in Canada, when it moved from when it was pretty clear that it could never really go back to just a really good, solid junior barn that would sustain it. Like, I covered that one in 95 in Red Deer, and that, what is the Centurium seat, 8,000 people, 10? It was a great venue. Nowadays, with the money that you have to guarantee the IIHF to host this thing, you have to have at least one NHL-sized arena in there for a good chunk of your games, or else you're just not getting the revenue that you need to. So it's outgrown the very rinks that made junior hockey so great in our country. That's the unfortunate part. But anyway, here we are. And, it is a great event. And even in Europe, they're doing a pretty good job with it for the most part.
Have you gone to the Circle K yet?
No, I'm going. I want to go at 4 o'clock to watch your boys, the Regina Pats. They play at 4 o'clock today, and I'm heading down there. I've been, Christmas gets busy, and I love that Circle K tournament. That Pats team last year was the talk of the tournament, them and Shad. I mean, there are a lot of great stories, but Schultz was obviously a huge story last year. I remember I did our hit last year in the midst of what still people talk about as one of the greatest games in the history of the Max tournament. I'll call it the Max tournament because that's what it is.
Sure.
And he had, what do you have? 2 or 3 goals, including the overtime winner, and he tied the game with like 4 seconds left.
Not even.
And he had, I think, 5 points in the game. People still talk about that as one of the great, great moments in this tournament's history. And I was on the phone with you at the time when it was happening.
You're gonna be in for a treat because you got Schultz, and then you got Liam Pugh, and then I can't wait to chat on Friday and see what you think about it. Are you gonna wear that hat to the game?
No, okay. I'll be wearing the Regina Pats hat that you sent me in the mail. Oh wait, you never sent me anything. Yeah, no, I went to go get a haircut today too and got shut out, so that's why I'm rocking the hat. I'm not normally a hat guy.
I'm almost tempted to do the old ultra cuts. I'm like, let's see what they can do. Let's see what my hair grows so fast. Who cares? Let's see how you can butcher this. Give me whatever. Do your best. Okay, but so we'll touch base on that. Actually, people want an update. It's in the third period. NAX just scored. They're up 3-2 on Moose Jaw. This game, we're watching it, or it's been a back and forth, and we're going to be watching the Pat C's tilt here. Let's talk some NHL quickly. Devin Cooley signing a 2-year deal. You like that story?
I just love the story. Like, I know nobody cares about a backup goalie in the NHL, generally speaking, but this is a kid who grew up in Northern California. I think I talked about him a couple weeks ago when we were in San Jose. Both goalies from the Flames are from North Carolina or Northern California, which is just the most ridiculous story. But this is a guy who up until last year had never been a starter in his life, in his entire life. And it reminds me of Kelly Rudy telling me the first team he ever made in his life was the Medicine Hat Tigers when he was 16 years of age. He'd never made a team before that. And so anyway, this guy gets to the AHL level at 28 and finally is a starter last year. He's all world. This year, after a terrible camp, it looks like his career might be over because they were looking for someone off waivers. They give him a shot, and he's been phenomenal as a backup. Now he's got a 2-year deal with the Flames. He's like undrafted. He was a walk-on at college. He was the 3rd stringer in college his final year. He didn't even travel with the team. He was the backup to the backup in the ECHL. He was a backup in the AHL. And here he is all these years later, just signed a 2-year extension to be Destin Wolf's backup. Fully deserved, and what a great story of perseverance, and he's a hell of a personality who really sells the game too. So cool story.
Great story. NHL insider Eric Francis is with us for Sports Select. Okay, we got about 2 minutes left here. Tomorrow's the big day. We find out Canada's Olympic team, or what should be, and I'm sure there might be guys in and out, maybe an injury or two. Can you give us your team quickly? Colson's ready to write it down.
I don't know if people care about the whole team, but because we only have 2 minutes, I'm going to say this. I really think it's amazing how many people are willing to just cast off Sam Bennett and say he shouldn't be on the team. He, to me, is the hill to die on. He should be on this team above so many other guys, like Brendan Hagel. I don't know. You want me to go through my lineup?
Yep, quick. I do.
Hagel, McDavid, Point, Crosby, McKinnon, Reinhart, Celebrini, Bennett, Marner, Marchand, Cirelli, Stone, Seth Jarvis, Tom Wilson. And the defense, I like Taves, Makar, Morrissey, Parayko, Theodore, Doughty. Those are all the guys from the Four Nations. Travis Sanheim, and I like Matthew Schaefer. You bring him along. I think he gets there on merit, but I also like giving him experience. And then the goaltender, this is where we're not going to win the tournament. I'm sorry, but we just don't have the goaltending. Logan Thompson's my starter. Mackenzie Backwood is my backup. And Jordan Binnington is my 3rd stringer, but I don't think that's the way they're going to play it. My guess is they'll give Binnington every chance to play his way out of that spot.
Wow. I like that. Run through your forwards again quickly. That after the top four that you had.
Well, I like Celebrini, Bennett, Marner, Marchand, Sorelli.
For sure.
Yeah, I love Marner. Marner's a 200-foot player. Celebrini's a 200-foot player. Bennett, that to me is your checking line. That's the agitating / checking line. Then you got Marchand. Sorelli hasn't had the greatest season, but the coach is the coach for Team Canada. So he's seeing him how good he is this year. Mark Stone's a nice addition. And Tom Wilson is a bit controversial, but I like having some grit against the Americans.
I like Wilson. I hope Wilson. You don't have Suzuki?
I don't have Suzuki. He was probably my next guy, but he was right there. Like, I just don't. He doesn't have the experience. I mean, nobody's got the Olympic experience, really. I know, but I just don't. On this level, I just don't know if he wouldn't be. Look, let's just say this. I had this great conversation with Scott Salmon, who helped shape the team, and he said everybody's got their opinion on who they want to add, but nobody wants to take anybody off the team from the Four Nations tournament. So we can all say, this guy has to be on the team, this guy has to be on the team, this guy. But who are you taking off?
Who?
And you ain't taking off Sam Bennett over my dead body to take off Sam Bennett. He was the best player in the world in the most important tournament last year, the Stanley Cup final. So that counts for something. He's not a point guy. He's everything else.
Let's end it at that.
No Bedard.
Let's end it at that for this Tuesday. I like it. And you got to maneuver your way. Are they playing at the Max Bell?
Max Bell. There's a couple rinks here, but yeah, I'll be over at the Max Bell.
Because the other one is the First Nation or
Seven Chiefs.
Yeah, Seven Chiefs. Yeah. Okay.
And they set a record. They set a record for attendance in day one. It's pretty amazing, especially considering all the Calgary teams are not doing well. So, great tournament. Whoever gets a chance to come to Calgary to watch that tournament, it'll blow your mind how talented these kids are. And I love that your listenership, is in tune with that level of hockey. This city is not, but when it comes to that tournament, this city supports it like crazy. It's awesome.
Okay, put an espresso martini in a little to-go cup and you'll fit right in with the Regina folks if you do something like that.
When I was in Vegas, I asked for an espresso martini. They got them on tap. That's the big thing now. They're all over the place on tap, but they were bringing to me you can't drink more than 2 of those, buddy. Let me tell you, that is not going to help your acumen at the blackjack table, I promise.
We should test that theory together with the golf clubs one day. There's another. Put it on the list. Vegas Espresso Martini Tournament. Me and Eric. All right. Friday. We'll catch up. Have a good New Year's, bud.
Yeah, bud. Yeah. Happy New Year, man.
Cheers. NHL Insider Eric Francis is for Sports Select, where now you can do your picks online, generate your QR code, lock in your bet, go to your Lotto Spot retailer, and there you go. Just like that, you have it. Every bet's 100% illegal. Must be 18 plus to play, and play responsibly. I can't wait to get to Sprinkle of the Day later, because I got some stories. I got some sprinkle stories for you. It's a Sports Cage. We'll be right back. Not a good afternoon, not a good third period for the Moose Jaw AAA Warriors. They now trail 5-3 to NAX in the third period of play. Also, not a good outcome for Prairie Hockey Academy, losing 6-1. Regina Pat Canadians up in an hour against the Lake Forest Academy team from Illinois. A bunch of kids that are a year older. AAA Challenge up in Saskatoon. Blazers, Tisdale go at 5. Eastman versus the Esteban Bears at 8 p.m. And World Juniors, Latvia, Denmark. It's actually going to be a good hockey game right now. 0-0 in the first period of play. Switzerland dumped Germany 4-0. Sports Ticker is for Reliance Heath. Bundle and save. Rent a water heater and softener together. Get $400 in cash back. Call on Reliance Heath today. Hour 2 is coming up. Keep the text messages coming. We'll have Arash Madani and a whole lot more. It is a Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com. Welcome back for Saskatchewan Lotteries, the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, the Sports Cage. On that note, unfortunate news for the AAA Moose Jaw Warriors. They lose 6-3 the final. An empty netter to NAX, so NAX will advance. in the group of 16. Just sounds cooler. Still says 5-3, though. Maybe the empty netter didn't count. Regina Pat Canadians on the ice within the hour. Big one. Against the Lake Forest Academy out of Illinois. I got a bunch of kids that are older playing those academies down there. We'll keep you updated there. Still more to get to. I want to get to some of these text messages here quickly. Arash Madani is going to be with us in moments. Trisha messaged in about the after hours interview with Connor McDavid. Thought it was excellent as well. Scott Oak and Kelly Rudy. We talked about that in hour one. James says Celebrini is the real deal. Gifted playmaker and tough. And just 19. Put him at center. Wilson on the Olympic team concerns him. He steamrolls someone, leaves him unconscious. 5 in a game for Tommy Boy. Let's hope they don't ref it like that, James. Don't get me started on reffing. I know they try hard, and a lot of them are really good. But can we just bring body contact back into hockey? Is that too much to ask? What's the other one here that was good? I don't want to get to. I don't know if you got a name. Yeah, it was Dean. I think it was Dean in Regina. Yeah. I'm glad the days of talking about the World Juniors. I'm glad the days of beating teams 10-0 are over. Even if it was Canada winning, it's just not entertaining. 10 years ago, I thought that this should be a 6-team tournament because there are only 6 good hockey countries in the world. But now things have changed, and there's more parity, and it's more enjoyable to watch. Dean. Thank you, Dean. Dean, do you care about the crowds when it's not held in Canada? You seem logical. Like, who cares if there's empty seats in Minnesota? Come on, Canadians. We are like to sell out hockey rinks. Not news. Big deal. Minnesota's doing a bang-up job. I love the fact that Canada's dressing room's like in another rink. And they got to walk through that hallway and all that. It kind of takes you back to like your days when you're a kid. It's just like, yeah, we played this one tournament in Tessier, and we had to dress in the fire hall, which was attached to the rink, which wasn't much of a rink. It was more like a Quonset. 936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals text line is open. And if you want to win tickets to the Pats game tomorrow, just text in Pats with a comment like Ed did. So still more to come. Here's a couple of things. Kind of our best of year. Curtis did some great work on this year. Before we get to Arash Madani, I wanted to, we'll play these throughout the program today, what's left of it, and maybe some tomorrow. This was Curtis's favorite that came up last year. Remember Wayne Ruby Jr. for the Riders? We had him. They had to release him. They had to let him go. But Curtis, we look back on his favorite from 2025.
Speaking with him, the first thing he said, Coach, I'm going to bring that Florida swag up there, And what I love most about not only Wayne, but the other guys in the situation, he's a Division III football player. And a lot of guys that I've had time either coaching or playing with, Fred Jackson's one of them. I mean, these guys are so prideful about carrying I was a Division III football player. That's a lot of teams that felt I wasn't good enough to play at higher levels. What he was able to do at his school and really at that level of football, I mean, he almost had 7,000 yards receiving throughout his college career. He's an immaculate talent. Certainly somebody, I know a lot of guys in the building, not only just coaches, but players are excited to work with. And the kid himself, bless his heart, rookies, he texts me, say, hey, Coach, can I get this number? I said, hey, Wayne, let me tell you something about being a rookie. You might have to wear 177. You got to earn your right to get the number you want. But he said, hey, I get it. No problem. Looking forward to proving you right and signing us. So elated for the kid's future to see what he looks like coming in. Usually there's always a couple guys that you're excited to see, coming to camp. Last year, the Keyshawn Johnson, Dante Meyer. This kid's one of those as well.
Maybe he'll be back this year. Wayne Ruby Tuesday Jr. Let's hope, because seems like a great kid. Now here's another one. Best of 2025. Running for CFL commissioner, Arash Madani was a free agent. He made this declaration on the cage.
Fellas, let the record show that on the 13th day of March, 2025, at 18:18 p.m. Eastern Time, I am now formally putting in my candidacy for commissioner of the Canadian Football League.
We thought it was coming.
Yeah, I'm an unrestricted free agent. I'd like to ask the two of you to advocate on my behalf. Let's make this happen. Let's make the push to Wellington Street.
I'm in. Let's do it.
I'm in.
Yeah.
We weren't good at that obviously, because I don't even think he was in the running. Let's go talk to Arash.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
You had one job. You had one job in 2025, Barney. Come on, man.
Oh, we were young and stupid back in March, weren't we?
We sure were. We sure. Although the way things have gone for Stuart Johnston, maybe we didn't want. Maybe it ended up okay.
Oh, wow. I think we could have changed things with just one sentence different. I would have coached you. You know that. I would have had your back.
Yeah.
We would have been there. Not that I should be giving people advice on what to say and what not to say. That's for sure.
Happy New Year, man.
Yeah, we're there. You were just playing tennis, I hear?
I was just playing tennis, and it did not go well. So, thankfully, I had this segment to call it quits because, you know, like you're a golfer, right? You know, when the driver isn't working, you're like, all right, I'll just go irons off the tee, and then when you can't chip, where the heck? And then the putter's not. It's just one of those days where nothing was happening. Yeah.
I usually tell a buddy, I'm like, hey, bottle me. Put me out of my misery. Yeah. Send me home. I shouldn't be here. Okay, 2025. We're going to revisit that throughout the show here as we go. But for you, not so much 2025, 2026.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to in the next year?
Well, like there's so much happening through the lens of Canadian sports, Barney. Like it's a big event year. Like we're 6 weeks away from the Olympics starting. You know, right after that is the World Baseball Classic that's kind of taken on a life of its own. This summer, for the first time ever, the World Cup of Soccer is coming into Canada. Like that's all in the first 6-7 months of the year. And we haven't even gotten into, you know, Stanley Cup and the Blue Jays and CFL and the rest. So I kind of look at those three events early in the year because it's one of those things where we're not really thinking about it now or talking about it now. But once it arrives, I think it's just going to kind of take over conversations across the country, especially Olympics and World Cup.
Yeah, that World Cup. And I remember getting wrapped up in it the last time. And it was the Women's World Cup, too. I've been wrapped up into that. And I'm like, look at me, soccer guy. But first time ever, like you mentioned, Canada is going to be hosting it. Third time that we are paying our entry fee to play in it as well. What can we expect?
Well, so third time the men's team has ever gone. Like the first time was 1986. The other time was Qatar. And Qatar in 2022, it kind of felt like the walk before you run. I'm going to get, like, I really believe, Barney, if the stars align, this is going to be the summer where if Canadians didn't know who Alphonso Davies was before, they're absolutely going to get the arrival of this kid now. I mean, you talk about, well, like, what a Canadian story. First of all, he scored the first goal ever by a Canadian in a World Cup almost 4 years ago when they went there to Qatar. And the story that, you know, they're refugees, they end up in Edmonton. Alphonso starts to play as a teenager. He goes to the Vancouver Whitecaps, and then Bayern Munich signs him. He is like Christine Sinclair for a long time was the face of women's soccer. Alphonso Davies, to me, this summer is going to be absolutely the player that everybody is going to be talking about.
Okay, let's move to the Olympics. You said 6 weeks out. It is crazy. Yeah. Hockey team comes out tomorrow. We're going to be talking hockey a lot here, but maybe give us another name, another event, another team that we're going to be talking about when it comes to Italy in 6 weeks.
Yeah, and I want to be like careful about this because I get it. Like hockey's going to take up the ecosystem. But, in Olympics past, there was Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer, the Canadians kind of got into with the figure skating. If you go back way back when, Liz Manley and Kurt Browning figure skating.
I was just going to throw out Elizabeth Manley.
I was at an event about a month ago, and there's Elvis Stoico, and I'm like, "Hello, adolescence! I remember when you were a thing." I think the curling's going to be a big story.
But sorry, I want to add, wasn't Elizabeth Manley the pioneer of the biting the metal thing?
She sure was.
Yeah.
Calgary 88 out of nowhere wins a silver medal on a Saturday night at the Saddle Dome. Debbie Thomas of the United States was the gold medal favorite, and Liz Manley wins the silver. That's a great pull there.
Take a seat.
Let me throw a name at you, man.
Okay.
His name is Mikkel Kingsbury, freestyle skier. He is probably the most accomplished mogul skier of all time. And we actually have had a pretty good history of mogul skiers. There was Jean-Luc Brassard who won gold in the 90s. Alex Bilodeau, Vancouver 2010, won Canada's first ever gold medal on home soil.
Wasn't that mountain bad or something in Vancouver, though? Like they couldn't make snow for the longest time? Yeah.
Sure was. So all these people talking about, well, the rink isn't ready. I'm like, well, let's slow our roll when we're judging others.
Classic Canadians.
Right, like the Zamboni wasn't working at the speed skating venue. We didn't have snow on the mountains. But Mikkel Kingsbury is, to me, one of the most incredible stories. Like, here's a dude who has been to 3 Olympics, 3 podiums, including 1 gold. Barney, he has done everything in his career. 8 world championships. He has 99 World Cup medals. The resume is complete. And now this is the final brushstroke. We're going to talk about, in the freestyle skiing world, Kingsbury's it. And now if he can somehow win another gold, make it 4 Olympics, 4 medals, including 2 golds, we're talking about among the greatest of all time here.
We watch those moguls. Jeez, I wonder, can I interview a mogul, somebody that's in their 50s, and ask how their joints are doing? How their knees from that impact and it's and the other, the other one I remember, who can forget it? The Ross Rebliati, whatever.
Rebliati, yes.
Yeah. Remember when that captured our attention? What Olympics was that? Salt Lake? No.
I wanted,
Nagano?
Salt Lake. Nagano 98? Maybe it was that one.
Coulson? Ross?
Yeah.
Rebegliat. Don't get me to spell it. I can't even pronounce it. What year?
You stripped him of his medal because he tested positive, but it was for cannabis.
98. Nagano.
Yeah.
Poor Ross. Now it's legal. So
think about the endorsement deals he'd get now if that were to happen.
No doubt. Yes.
Right? I'm actually on his Instagram right now, Barney. His latest post: premium straight cut pre-rolls, proud supplier to Good Vibes GMO. Ross is keeping it consistent.
Good on
a quarter of a century later.
Nothing will ever beat, though, Ben Johnson promoting Cheetah energy drink. Nothing will ever beat that. I still can't believe that was a real thing. You mentioned...
Remember the tagline, though? Remember the tagline for the Cheetah drink? I cheetah all the time.
Man, that is so good. That is so funny. Man. Oh, we should pull that commercial up, Coulson, and play. You mentioned the hockey rink. Have you, with your people, and you're talking to a lot of people every day and all that, what have you heard? Are you worried about it at all?
I'm not at all. Barney, I'll remember Sochi 2014.
Yeah.
Going to places like Olympic venues a week out that barely existed. And then by the time they lit the flame, it was ready to go. It's the weirdest thing when there's a deadline for something, isn't there? You show up to anything, you're looking around, a month out, and you're like, how is this possible that they're going to have this thing ready? they will have it ready. It has to be ready. It may not be 100%, but it'll be passable. And on TV, no one's going to notice. And, the show will go on. All right, maybe the ice will be a little bit smaller. Whatever. It's going to be a non-factor once things get started.
You brought up the World Baseball Classic, and that's something because I was talking to some guys, and they're planning on going. I want to say to Puerto Rico, the Puerto Rican game, not the American games. They're going somewhere crazy and really taking in the experience and all that. This event has kind of really snowballed here. Correct me if I'm wrong. In the last 5-ish years.
Yeah, I think it was the last one in 23 that just blew up. Like, the gold medal game was Japan versus USA. And how does it end? Shohei Ohtani on the mound facing Mike Trout with a world championship on the line. Barney, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. I covered this tournament. I covered Team Canada with it. And over the years, I've been lucky enough. I've probably covered, 700-800, maybe 1,000 big league baseball games. After, a Wednesday in May in Milwaukee, you don't remember anything. The weirdest thing happened when I showed up in Arizona for a Canada game. You suddenly start to care. And the way this WBC organically just unfolded 3 years ago, and, teams were saying, we don't want our players going because it's the middle of spring training. We don't want them to get hurt. Already, Team USA has a powerhouse group of guys who've signed up. Everybody wants to be part of it. This is the closest thing that baseball has to being able to participate in the Olympics in a best-on-best tournament. And I actually think Canada's going to have a semi-decent team if everybody that could play does play. I'm not saying they're the U.S. I'm not saying they're Japan or Dominican, but they're right there.
That's okay. On the heels of that, do you know what about Freddie Freeman? Who's he playing for?
Freddie Freeman, if he plays in the World Baseball Classic, will suit up for Canada.
Oh, nice.
For those, we're talking about an NL MVP. We're talking about now a 3-time World Series champion. We're talking about the World Series MVP. And the reason why is that Freddie's late mother, Rosemary, was born in Canada. And as a tribute to her, Rosemary died of cancer when Freddie was a young boy. He suits up for Canada at the WBC. And he did it not only in 2023, but the one previous to that. And he has always said that that's what I'm going to do, which is very cool. And Freddie always says, my mom would have been in the front row with a big sign that said, that's my boy, that's my son. She would have loved it. So now Freddie's like, okay, it's time for us to win some games.
Nice. I want to ask you some CFL stuff here. What do you think of Sam Emilus? I was surprised that they released that on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, the timing was a little interesting. I guess they must have gotten it done right around then. I don't know how many tickets they would have sold on season tickets they would have sold on Christmas Eve, but I think it's important to get it done before the end of the calendar year because it counts against the 2025 cap, not the 2026 cap. Look, to me, there are two musts this offseason for the Riders, or I guess three. One's the quarterback, okay. One's Emilus, the other's Tavon Campbell. Now, Tavon Campbell's 32. I'm wondering, why is he not signed? Does he want to keep playing football? Does he not? I'm not sure. There's some weird rumblings about that. But to me, it's a no-brainer for the Riders to bring him back. Now, I will say this, Barney, you and I watch a lot of NFL, okay? And I get most guys who go down to the NFL, who have the CFL experience, are kind of like Tavon Campbell. They play for 2-3 years, a couple of different teams, like Tavon Campbell did, and then they go south of the border. They bounce around like Campbell did with the Chargers and the Jaguars. They get a cup of coffee with the Raiders and come back. I don't know. Like, I look at him right now. I look at pro football right now, south of the border, and I say to myself, if you are a defense that likes to have big, strong, physical corners, and not all defenses are like that, but like the Vikings are, Devon Campbell makes a ton of sense. So it's just the age, 32, but, if you just want him for a year or two, he can still play. So I'm just interested to see how this all unfolds for the Riders, for Campbell moving forward.
Because I was saying the same things as you, and like, does anyone know him? What does he do? What's his wife? Does he have kids? Where does he live? Like, he's from the Greater Toronto area. Is he out there? And then, is football still? Does he have the burn? Does he want to play? I'm expecting someone from 3 Down Nation. Like, those guys are always on. They know everything about everything. They're following people around, surveillance van style. Like, I want to know.
Is that what they're doing?
Like, give us the Tavon Campbell update, because he's on my list. What are you expecting CFL wise though, 2026? Looking forward. Any crazy hot takes?
Well, here's one for you. And this is not sourced, and this is not the league is leaning this way. It would not surprise me if at some point in 2026 they claw back the idea of removing the 55-yard line. It would not shock me if they say, you know what, we're going to keep all the rule changes, both teams on the same sideline, the goalposts back, the change to the rouge, blah, blah, blah. All those are going to stay. It wouldn't, I don't know, Barney, I just got this hunch. And again, it's not sourced. It's not that I've talked to people about it, etc. I think that there's been so much noise, like at some point give the fans something, but give those venues something. Give the stadiums that the league plays in a little something, especially since you didn't have them involved. It's okay to say, hey, we're going to do 90% of what we decided. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So that's just something that wouldn't surprise me if it happened in 2026.
I remember saying that out of the gate. I'm like, which one can they go back on and not, cause too much fuss? There's always going to be fuss, especially the people that are dead set on never touch the game. We don't want change. But maybe that's an interesting point, and I'll be very curious to watch that. Stuart Johnston, rule changes. There's so much to unwrap over the next little bit. I want to ask you before we go, though, because I was talking about it, and I know TSN made it what it is. World Junior Hockey Championships. It was Boxing Day and hustle and bustle and all that, and I'm looking at the social media feed, Arash, and I'm going, why? Why do we as Canadians have to care so much about how many tickets are sold when the World Juniors are held in Sweden, in Finland next year, in Minnesota, and then beat our chest and pat ourselves in the back that we would be selling it out? Look at how many people are there.
But Barney, let me stop you there. Canada doesn't. When Canada hosts, they sell out Canadian games.
Mm-hmm.
But when Latvia is playing Denmark in the matinee on the 27th, how many people are in the barn?
Yeah, and you know what? You can go on how many tickets were sold, because corporate tickets, they'll just buy the package and whatever. So don't count that. Count how many actual human bodies are in the stadium. And we have the same thing exactly, to your point. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, to these people, I just want to know, what do you want? Do you want, okay, good, that's awesome. Good job, Canada. Do you want it held here every year? Like, I think that would be extremely sad. It's like, no, this thing's got to be played other places. It's already held here too much. So, I'm curious on your take on the whole thing.
Yeah, that's part of it. The other is it's really interesting. I think my former colleague Mark Spector was the one who tweeted it, because the Wild were up in Edmonton, and the Minnesota officials were telling him and some others, the organizers had expected an influx of Canadians to go down to the Twin Cities for the World Juniors. And part of their, air quote business model was that, there would be, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 Canadians coming down for it. That was going to sell out hotels. That was going to add to the economy, restaurants, ticket sales. It just hasn't happened. So that's an interesting part of all this. I guess, I don't know enough about the tournament itself. How big is it in Sweden or Finland or the Czech Republic compared to Canada? But I will say, on a total tangent on this, I think what Latvia's done is amazing when it comes to hockey development. They are a country with a population of 1.8 million people. And they continue to develop young hockey players, basketball players, and their fans travel extremely well. So that's what an incredible sports culture for a country that small.
And that's a really good point, because I grew up, I was saying earlier, Stéphane Fissé and the late 80s World Juniors in Canada would just absolutely dominate. And when it was in Saskatoon, and the stories of the Norwegians having to share sticks and goalies that look like street hockey goalies, and those days are so gone, never coming back, because every country is good. And no one gives a rip if you have 10,000 good hockey players. For this tournament, you need like 20. That's all you need. Yeah. And they become so good because of the Canadians, and how many Canadians go over there and help, and they coach, and they learn, and they steal different tactics. When I went to Finland and Sweden, it's one of the first things I would always ask: how big is the World Juniors here? How big is the World Juniors?
Yeah.
It's a big deal. The top kids want to play in that, but the reason, a lot of them would say, because it's such a big deal in North America.
Yeah.
And so it is. And so I don't, the Latvians, what they've done, and for us to shade them, I love it. And most people they're panicking. We're not playing as a team. We don't have enough this. We don't have enough that. Pump your brakes. Like Al Miller said on this show, every team is good.
Well, here's the other thing, Barney, is that, and this show and the Regina market aside, all these people with all these takes, how many minutes of junior hockey have you watched since January 8th of last year, or of this year? So you know nothing about any of these players. You have not seen them play, but, Johnny in Ottawa and, Sammy in Halifax have all of these opinions based on, watching 3 periods of hockey, eight mooseheads deep.
What the hell do you know, Sammy? In Halifax, that's what I want to know. All right, bud. Friday, have a good what do you got planned tomorrow? Play a nice little night out?
No, I avoid New Year's Eve because it's amateur night. My night is Jan 1 because it's Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl back to back.
Yeah.
And everywhere's dead from the night before. So there you go. Roll Tide. Alabama, Indiana.
Ever since I stepped foot in that Tuscaloosa Stadium, I'm on the Tide. And you'd be happy to know, when I was in Vegas with Mrs. S last week, I did put down a little sprinkle on the Patriots to win the AFC. I'm not very confident, but I had to do it.
There you go. Mr. Diggs may have put a wrench in those plans.
I know. Yeah. Okay, we'll talk Friday, buddy. Have a good New Year's tomorrow.
You too. Happy New Year to everybody listening and watching.
There he is. Arash Madani for Brian Gawley. Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money, and call Brian Gawley and his team at 546-2533. Waiting for the Pat Canadiens game to start over on this TV. Over there, we got Latvia's up 1-0 on Denmark in the second period of play. We'll keep you updated here. We'll go to break. I'll be right back. It is a Sports Cage on the home of sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. All right, clutch performer time. Colson, let's start with you.
Mine actually happened yesterday while we were live on the cage, and I was trying to get Tegan and Dave's attention. Czechia getting the game winner in overtime over Finland.
What a goal.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this, I had the kid's name and I forget it now. But yeah, between the legs, over the pad, game winner with like minute 30 left in overtime there.
Yeah.
Gorgeous goal.
Finns in Canada tomorrow. That should set up to be a good one. Okay, mine today, Chase Peterson, number 39 for the Moose Jaw AAA Warriors. 2 goals in a losing effort to NAX, Northern Alberta Extreme. 6-3. Moose Jaw's hopes of the Circle K championships are over. But still have hope with the Regina Pat Canadians. Looks like to be, about 15, 20 minutes time. We're going to keep you updated here. Mm-hmm. They hit the ice against the Lake Forest Academy. Now, some of our best ofs from 2025. It's when we had Maddox Schultz on talking about Liam Pugh and the possibility of Liam playing in Regina. This was back, I can't remember what month it was. And then maybe with the Schultzes, billet young Liam.
How well or how much have you played against Liam Pugh in your days?
I think we played against each other once at the True Franchise Cup. It was like after the Brick. It's like kind of the Brick tournament, but in the 2010 year because of COVID, so the Brick didn't sponsor it. But we played against each other once, and yeah, he's a great player and just super lucky to be on his team.
I'm not the armchair GM. I wasn't at home predicting the trade, but what a great move by them and strengthening your age group as they prepare for what's going to be a few successful years with this organization.
Yeah, absolutely. He's super excited to be playing with him, and to be drafted 3rd overall to the same team is, me. It's obviously awesome.
Have you two talked yet? Have you and Liam?
Yeah. As soon as he got drafted, I gave him a call after Alan talked to him, and super special kid and really excited.
Any chance that he's maybe looking to play in Pat C's next year? Can we anything? Never know. Never. Don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that'd be a nice little fit.
It would be cool. Yeah.
34 games for him as well.
Yeah. I'm sure he's considering it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mom and dad have a basement suite or anything? Maybe,
we
you guys get bunk beds? You guys stepbrothers?
Right. Yeah. I think we got a guest bed downstairs, but
perfect. You guys can shoot pucks.
That was a lot of fun, yeah. And then it ended up that Liam did come, and he is playing with the Pat Canadians. And like I said, they're on the ice right away. That was from the summer because I looked like I was golfing a lot. I was very tanned.
It was after we got the new mic stands, so sometime in the summer, yeah.
Still more to come. I'm going to get back to some of your text messages on the World Juniors. Some of you texting in on the Olympic team, which will be announced tomorrow. It's SportsCage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. Welcome back. Colson is with me for Saskatchewan Lotteries on this Tuesday. Main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation. All of our guests are joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. That commercial just makes me so hungry. Eat so much over the holidays, and then now try and get her back on the rails. But hungry right now. Prairie Land Rentals text line 936-6262. Did see some of the messages coming in. Just a lot of people really agreeing with how TSN made the World Junior what it is. And people want Canada to be challenged, for the most part. Our listeners anyway. Earl, Nate, Mike said they want Canada to be challenged at this tournament. One other text message on the Olympic team as well. Lawrence up in Saskatoon. He's passionate about this. He thinks Suzuki, great on face-off, plays a 200-foot game. You must have the puck in this tourney. Face-offs are huge. Then he asked, do you think a long shot Zach Hyman to play with McDavid like they brought Kunitz to play for Crosby the last Olympics? Maybe, Lawrence. Really good points there as well. Okay, Pump Jacks Cathedral trivia time. Oh, that's okay. There we go.
It's time for SportsCage Trivia for Pump Jacks. Great food, cold local draft, and a place that feels like home.
Buttons are sticky. It's, there's been lots of treats and stuff around. Okay, so I'm going to ask you the question. 936-6262. We'll take caller Colson. What number do you want? Let's go 3. Colson says caller number 3. $50, Pump Jacks Cathedral. They are located at Albert and 13th. Great ribs. Great soup. I forget how many taps they have as well. Good place to go hang out with the family or the colleagues. Kids are allowed until 8 and live music on the weekends. Now, here's the question today. World Junior related. Call in and give us a country that has only hosted the World Junior Championships once. 936-6262. A country that has only hosted the World Juniors once. We'll go to break. When we come back, you find that caller. If it's you, and we got the ticker coming up. It is the Sports Cage. We'll be right back. All right, we have Jeremy on the phone. Jeremy, are you there?
I am.
Right on. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Slopping around out there?
Yeah, driving right now.
Yeah. Okay. The question was, name me one country that has hosted the World Junior Hockey Championships only once.
I'm going to...
Did you say?
Slovakia?
No.
Thanks anyway.
Thanks, dude. You got a free lunch. Stay on the line. Colson's going to take your information. You still get a free lunch from Pump Jacks Cathedral, and we get to play for $100 next week here on the Sports Cage. Answers would have been Switzerland, Germany, or former West Germany hosted the event. Only one time. So we'll play for 100 next time. We'll get it going. Looking at the TV over to my right here, the Pat Canadians getting ready to hit the ice in that game. So we're going to keep you updated there. Did have another text message come in, and I don't know. This is from James. James could be Texter of the Year. Texts in quite a bit. He knows his stuff. Says he met number 26, Tavon Campbell, when he was on the IR after a practice, and he said, I'll be in Winnipeg in November. He says, I'll be there too, bro. And then he drove away in his Florida plated Ferrari. I don't know. I think James is trustworthy. If that's the situation, then Tavon Campbell lives in Florida. We need that surveillance van down in Florida, find out what is going on. But if dude's rolling a Ferrari, probably did okay with his money. Lots of people make good money. Just were you smart with that money and all that. Glen Suitor in hour 3. We will talk more on the CFL. Get Glen's take on the Sam Emelis signing. Big cabbage. 285. 290 or 295. Did we ever
290.
290 in 2027. Getting paid, as they say, as the kids say. Well, makes sense. Also, Dante Meyer's working out with another NFL team, Miami. He's worked out for Minnie, Chicago, Denver, Cincy, now Miami. So his agent's getting him some runs, getting him some turf time, NFLs. Need him back as well. He'll be back. We'll figure things out. Still more to come. Going to keep you updated on the local hockey. If you missed it, the Moose Jaw AAA Warriors couldn't get it done. They fall to NAX at the Circle K Championships, as did Prairie Hockey Academy. Let's get into the ticker.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sports, Regina's locally owned one-stop hockey shop. Now with a price match guarantee. 1425 McIntyre Street.
On the heels of those updates, we'll update you that it was Switzerland over Germany 4-0 at the World Juniors, and Latvia, Denmark right now. Latvia's up 2-1. They got the Kavorka going, but Denmark just scored on their 7th shot to make it 2-1. More AAA action up in Saskatoon at the U18 Hockey Challenge. Saskatoon Blazers, Tisdale Trojans starting at 5 p.m. So in a couple minutes here, Eastman and the Estevan Bears go at 8 p.m. U18 Curling Provincials, they are going down in Estevan. Draws starts at 5 o'clock this evening. National Hockey League Canadian teams. Leafs hosting the Devils. Canadians are in Florida. And Vancouver welcomes the Philadelphia Flyers. SportsCage.com poll today. Who do you think should be Team Canada's captain at the Olympic Games? Vote at SportsCage.com. If you listen to the Hot Stove on Saturday, Connor McDavid said, it's Sidney Crosby. It's not me. It's Sidney. So if Connor thinks it's Sidney, then it's got to be Sidney. But you can vote. SportsCage.com. Glen Suitor coming up in hour 3. Some of our best of from 2025. Some funny ones. Darian Durant singing a little 90s pop. I don't know, was it be 80s? 80s pop music. And a whole lot more. It is for Extreme Hockey and Sport. Price match guarantee. And the deals right now. The Boxing Day sales continue at Extreme Hockey and Sports. Stay tuned. We're coming back with hour 3. It is the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM. Welcome back for the last hour on this Tuesday, whether you're listening on one of the audio streams and crystal clear quality. Maybe you're watching through our YouTube channel, sportscage.com. Yes, I need a haircut. Or on 620 CKRM, the power. 620 CKRM. Thanks for making time today. Colson's with me. Been a good show. If you missed any of it, podcast forum, go back and watch it on YouTube. Hour 1, we had Eric Francis, who should be arriving at the Max Bell Center for the Pat Canadians Lake Forest game right now. Hour 2, Arash Madani. We're going to have Glen Suitor coming up in a bit. We've kind of been playing some of our best ofs from 2025. Curtis did a fantastic job of getting these together. Another one that he had here, and I forgot about this. They were in studio. It was when CJ Rivas and Mike Rose talk about their getting cut stories right here in the Sports Cage studio.
Time that you remember being cut or released that sticks out.
Obviously, the first time you get cut in the league, in NFL. But I feel like even my first year in SAS, my rookie year, for those who don't know, I tore my Achilles like the last preseason game after they said I made the team. So I got cut. And I was like, wait, what? Like, what do you mean I got cut? So that was like tough for me, have to go rehab and come back and do it again. But I feel like my first year getting cut in SAS was definitely tough for me.
Oh, when the Giants cut me, that was a sad day because that money was spent. The money from that contract was already spent.
How much was it?
I spent about a good 30K.
What'd you buy?
I helped my mom get a house.
Yeah? Aw.
Yeah.
Big old man.
I also paid for some very expensive dinners. There were quite a few of those.
Hey.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was having a good time. I thought I was a lot.
How does it go down? What do they say? Do they say, like, we need to talk to you, bring your book? Or
So the locker room's, like, usually clear. And like 20 people in the locker next to me had been cut. So I was like, I'm still here. I'm still fighting. The security guard came to get me, and I was like, I haven't talked to you ever, so I'm assuming this is the moment. I was like, all right, cool. This is it. He was like, yeah, man, they don't tell me anything. I said, all right, so this is it for me. And then, yeah, man, it was like, they really enjoyed it. It was a good time. I was like, it's all good. And it was real. It was fun. It wasn't real fun.
That was a lot of fun. We got a couple more coming up in a moment, but let's go and talk one last time in 2025 to Glen Suitor.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Rough Rider legend Glen Suitor on the Sports Cage. Brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
Suits. You were on that day too. That day those boys shared that story, weren't you?
Yeah, I think I was. Yeah, and Mike Rose, what a character, man! Like, I am just smiling through that whole discussion on his time being released. By the way, in every season with the Rough Riders that we would start training camp, it didn't matter the coach; they all did this. They would ask for a show of hands of anyone that has ever been cut in the room, and honestly, 98% of the players in those seats put their hand up, because at some point you're going to get cut and you have to bounce back from it. But Mike Rose, how did he say it, Barney? He said, it was real, it was fun, but it wasn't real fun.
No, it was real, it was nice, but it wasn't real nice.
Yeah. It wasn't real nice.
I thought it was an unorthodox move, Suits, on the Riders announcing such a big signing. Everyone was excited about it. Everyone was waiting for it. And for a lot of people, it did. It kind of flew under the radar because they announced it on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, unlucky probably. I mean, lucky that they got it done. Happy, I'm sure they got it done. And Sam Emilus will be back. But it probably, and I don't know this for a fact, but it probably broke down to, it's been on the table. They've been discussing it back and forth, hoping from a club's perspective that Sam would sign that contract before Christmas, when people are out there Christmas shopping and could think of season tickets and things like that. That would have been ideal. But, they were probably holding off on a clause or two and getting some of the fine print taken care of. And when that was taken care of, they just said, hey, it's done. Now, the club's dilemma, if that happened on Christmas, the club's dilemma is, well, if we don't announce it, it's going to get out anyway. Like, someone's going to say it, it'll be tweeted, it'll be something. Mm-hmm. And probably Sam. And then, so we might as well do it anyway, even though the timing's not ideal. I think getting some of these star players, and that's why I was sort of emphasizing when Trevor Harris signed. When Trevor Harris signed that quickly and that early, it did so many good things for the organization.
Is it a bit of a domino too when it comes to receivers on what, Philpott and then Hatcher and then Emilus was the next to fall? Is there like the domino effect there? And then if there is, maybe what's the next one?
Yeah, I think there always is. I mean, we've seen that with Kenny Lawler at times when the number one and two, like the top 4 or 5 receivers in the league, once they get signed, then it's kind of a race, because those are the big ticket guys that are signed. And for us, and this is something that is a topic probably for another day, but the Canadian ratio means that Sam Emilus's value is slightly higher than even at times a Keon Hatcher or a Dante Meyer or something. Like, I'm not talking about quality of player. I'm just saying that having that Canadian designation really helps a coaching staff with flexibility. So that's why their value goes up. Now, before American players get angry about that, I'd remind them that it always lifts, the high tide lifts all boats. So as those salaries start getting nudged up a little bit more and more all the time, whether it's a Canadian ahead of you or not, so will yours. And, again, you can argue skill levels and talent and that stuff. Everyone has an opinion there. But the pillars for me were Dembski getting signed, Sam Emilus for sure, Hatcher and Tyson Philpott. Like, there's, I might add a Dom Rhymes in there from Calgary. He's still unsigned. Between Keyshawn or Dante in Saskatchewan, those are 2 guys that I would almost put in the pillar kind of signings, the big ticket signings, that once they happen, now the dominoes, as you mentioned, Barney, start to fall, because there becomes more sense of urgency for the player and the agent, who are now looking at not those cornerstone guys, but they're looking at excellent football players that will help you win, that could be interchanged almost. So I went through the free agent list, and there are 24 excellent receivers still available. Saskatchewan and Winnipeg, by the way, have basically their entire receiving course. When you look at Sask with Keyshawn, Sean Bain, Dante, who's down in the NFL, they won't know about him for a bit. Tommy Neild, Picton, Robustelli, Schaefer Baker.
Yep.
Unless it's happened in the last 5 minutes, that's their core. They get Sam back. That's their pillar guy. Now, let's say hypothetically, they can't sign Keyshawn back. Let's say he decides to go somewhere else, and I'm not suggesting he will or that I've heard that he will or anything like that. Yep. But let's just say for Saskatchewan point of view, it's him. So now the Riders, from that perspective, can they go to a Justin Hardy in Ottawa? A Braylon Addison. I got my list right here of guys that would be big time production guys like Carrick Wheatfall in Winnipeg. I mean, there are some, even just stopping at Justin Hardy as a guy that you watch him in Ottawa with up and down quarterbacks all the time. You put him with Trevor Harris and watch out. This guy could be a 2,000-yard guy. So, there's guys that are interchanged, and that's where it becomes difficult for receivers wanting to get that bigger ticket. Like can I really increase my salary here when you can almost be interchanged? I'm not saying there's no value, but you can be. There's other quality players that if you don't do it, then the team can go and maybe talk to, Aiden Eberhardt in BC. Dom Rhymes is still available in Calgary.
Value-wise, you mentioned the Rider guys. Let's go there.
Yeah.
Keyshawn, Dante, Robustelli, Sean Bain Jr., which he didn't play much last year. I just think there's something weird there. Kean Schaefer Baker, Tommy Neild, Mitch Picton. When we talk to Mitch, and Sharky swears by it, he thinks Mitch is leaning towards retirement. Maybe. But of those guys, where are the value pieces, you think, Glenn?
Well, I'm going to get criticized for my Canadian flag on my hat. But, because of ratio flexibility and how much that can help your team when you have quality starters in a lot of different positions, whether it be corner with a Devon Campbell or Keon Schaefer Baker, Tommy Neild. Like, that's where those two, and the production from Neild in the end of the season and then into the postseason, I mean, his production went through the roof. He took another step. So I would start with Keon Schaefer Baker because he's more proven, although a little bit injury prone early in his time. And then Tommy Neild. I think, Keyshawn Johnson, yes, outstanding all-star player and all that. But if you don't get him, there's, let's say, 10 other top quality guy. Braylon Addison still available. Shamar Bridges, Tim White, Dalton Schoen in Winnipeg is still a free agent. And
there are oodles of guys that are going to surface. Guys that have maybe been to a tryout. Guys that have been on a practice roster in NFL teams. Guys maybe on a college. We talked about it earlier. Wayne Ruby Jr. Tuesday, our boy. Here, he might surface again. He might be back. There's so many, right? So then that's where I'm playing the fantasy GM / video game guy. And I'm like, all right, okay, now we got a lot of money locked up here. We got a lot of money locked up here. Now, how do we value out two guys for where maybe we only would still be able to get one? And CFL, right? Where's that diamond in the rough? Where's that, bring him up. Somebody saw him, got his name passed on by a guy. Now he's coming up. So it's going to be very interesting. I personally think Kean Schaefer Baker is probably the one that, well, Sean Bain Jr. too. But then they're running a promo for the big hockey event coming up. And who's in the promo? Brett Lawther and Kean Schaefer Baker.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
And then the agents, right? Like you talked about it, and when we had who was it from 3 Down Nation? Colson.
Justin?
No, JC.
Oh yeah.
And there's only so many agents in the league, so it's like, all right, it's like everybody's getting audited by the same accountant.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and because there are interchangeable pieces, so you got 24 guys that are very good football players in that position that are still free agents. So now the player has to decide, how much more of a bump am I going to get because of my 1,000-yard season? I mean, if it's only going to be $10,000 and I have to pay half of that in taxes anyway, then is it worth leaving Trevor Harris, for instance, for $5,000 in Ottawa, where we're not sure who's going to play quarterback, or some other team? So I think this is where the 1-year contracts catch up to players, and they don't really realize it. They always think that 1 year means that if I have a big year, I'll be able to cash in the next year because I'll be a free agent every season, every offseason. So the problem with that is that there's 24 guys, and any one of them can help your team win. I mean, I could go through all the names, and you'll be going, oh, I like that guy. Oh, I like that guy. So it all of a sudden backfires on them that there's that many free agents available, because now the GMs can sort of say, well, look, we'll give you a little bump, but it's not going to be too much, because if you decide to go to BC, there's a nice list of free agents. We just pick up the phone and start calling them when we're allowed.
Are you hearing anything else out there? Anything on the free agent front, or maybe retirement front?
Not retirement, but I am working on, and I'm still sort of being held off because of, the organization in Edmonton the Elks wanting to have their conversations with Trey Ford before they sort of, open it up to more media and things like that. But I'm really intrigued about where Trey, or how that works out. Again, a little Canadian bias here for me, but I just think he's a special athlete that I'd like to see get one more chance. We've talked about it many times, but I want to see how they work that out in Edmonton, and if they can keep him, or they decide to keep him, or are they just going to cut him loose? I'm not sure, but that's what I'm working on. The big TV contract is huge. I'm going to talk to the league very soon. They have, that's the elephant in the room in a lot of ways for the new commissioner. And I'm really looking forward to, in the new year, getting geared up for tracking how these changes affect the game, and are they going to affect the game in the way that they believe it will? I think we need to be on top of that.
Okay, here's a question. We talked to Arash in hour 2, and I said this when it first came out, and I don't know if it was you that I asked or somebody, and they're like, I don't know, but let's say 2026, we got 12 months. If there was maybe one rule that they roll back for 2027 and say, we thought about it, would there be one that you could see them maybe doubling back on?
The only one, I heard you guys talk when Arash was on, and yeah, I would say that would be the only one I would agree that
55
is just taking that 10 yards out of the field length. Now, some of the reasons for doing it have come out of the league office, have been a little weak. The main one to me is that if you move the goalpost back, you wanted to shorten the field so that your field goal attempts don't drop dramatically, because now you have to get so much further in onto the offensive side of the field to actually get your field goal team out there. So that kind of works together with the goalpost moving back. But if there was any that I think they would sort of say, we thought about it and we didn't, we want to make the change, it would be that 10 yards. I'm still very interested, and it'll start. The discussions will start early in January, so it won't be long before we talk about this. At the league meetings, they have got to figure out the final 3 minutes and the new timing, because to me that is more important than any of the other changes. It really is. I mean, even the missed field goal that we won't see the returns that we've seen in the past for a missed field goal. We're not going to see those anymore. But let's see how that pans out. I think the more important one is how they deal with the final 3 minutes of the half and the final 3 minutes of the game, and how this new 35-second clock is going to tie into that. If there's too much change and adjustment, and I've heard this about timeouts. Well, we'll just give them more timeouts. No, that's not going to fix it. It doesn't need fixing, but it's not going to help to just give coaches more timeouts. You've got to keep the final 3 minutes the way it is now, or as close to it as you possibly can. And that explanation coming out of the January meetings, that's what I want to hear. I want to hear what are they going to do with those final 3 minutes, because if they mess with it, they're messing with one of the best pillar aspects of our game.
Yeah, that very interested to hear about that as well. All right, just people out there, I want to give them an update here. 12 minutes-ish gone in the game. Regina Pat Canadians are up on Lake Forest 2-0. I think Maddox Schultz scored the second goal. They're all over them in the group of 16 play. Okay, so what do you have planned? What do you have planned for New Year's? Or how was the holidays? I didn't even ask you. Holidays for you.
Holidays were great this year. This is me usually at Christmas. This is what I get accused of right here. If you're not watching the stream,
the Grinch.
I'm holding up a Grinch toy. Yeah. So that's I usually get that, because sometimes this whole commercial thing to me is a little silly when everyone gives each other lists, and then you go and get what's on your list, and then you pretend you're surprised on Christmas morning. That's always funny to me. But yeah, I love when we all get together. It was special this year though, Barney, because my son Jared, who I remember like it was yesterday when he was 9 and we were fishing and I was teaching him how to fly fish, is getting married this year in August. So he and his partner Alexia have been together for about 15 years. And I just started to think that the young kids today are they're not as interested in getting the documentation done. They're kind of together and they're okay with that. Yeah. And I thought that's just probably going to be what happens. But this Christmas, they showed us the ring. They've made the decision. They're getting married in August. And it's such a weird feeling, Barney. Like, my immediate thought was, if it was yesterday that I was teaching you how to fly fish, today you're getting married and you got your own place, and it happens fast, man.
August, right in the middle of, we're kind of in the middle of season though. What was Jared thinking on that front?
Well, it ties into their anniversary of when they first met and started going out together and all that. So it's like 15 years on the exact day. They want to do it on August 15th. I said,
really?
Look, hey, we'll make it work. I'll see what I got to do to get there.
Where will it be?
It'll be in Vancouver. They're not going to do the big thing. They're still working on the details. Okay. And I don't want to speak out of turn, but they're. It's funny if you're a kid listening or a parent listening, you'll probably agree with this. I would think that, the one thing that I've realized over time is if you want your parents to be happy, the way you make us happy as parents is just to be good people. You don't have to be a gold medalist. You don't have to be the best in your best. Understand what a good hard day's work is really about, and be good people. And that's why I'm proud of them, that they're good people. And that's as a parent, that makes your life, that's what makes you happy.
Well said. Well, you let Jared know if I get an invite to the wedding as one of your guests, I can DJ for free. I'll spin the tunes all night, Glenn. We'll have a great old time. All right, bud. Have a good night tomorrow night, New Year's, and then have a good New Year's Day. Lots of good college football on in the States, and then we get to catch up again on Friday.
Sounds good, buddy. Yeah, I'll be get my notepad out with all the color analysts and all the different analysts in college football now. I write down how they do it. Study time for me.
Exactly.
Thanks,
all right, man.
Happy
Talk
New
to you
Year,
Friday.
everybody. Yeah.
There he is, our CFL insider, former rider, great. TSN's Glen Suitor joining us here in hour 3. Text message came in, and I've said this as well, Dino and Regina. We have some young Canadian receivers coming up. Obviously, a JoJo, Weeb, and Mims. I'm like, don't sleep on Mims. I like Mims as well. Kevin texting in, Prairieland Rentals text line. Sweet lid Shink. He's watching on the YouTube stream. Will be a tough game versus Indiana, but I hope my Tide rolls. Yeah, I'm on Indiana. You know what? Let's go to break. We'll come back with Sprinkle of the Day. We'll cover some of these college football bets that are coming up. Pat Canadians are up 2-0. 5 minutes left in the first period. In their game at the Circle K against Lake Forest Academy, a win and they move on to the final 8. It's SportsCage, the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. Maddox Schultz just sent one across the ice to Liam Pugh for a one-timer. I don't know if the Lake Forest goalie saved it or if there was divine intervention or if that hit the post. I don't know how that didn't go in, though. What a play. Pat Canadians are up 2-0 in the round of 16 at the Circle K. Almost 3-0 there. They're all over them. I thought they were on the power play. They weren't. The other team had 5 bodies on the ice as well. Okay, Sprinkle of the Day for Sports Select. You just make your picks online now. On your phone, I've been doing this more. Make my picks, get the QR code, go to the Lotto Spot retailer, scan away, boom, there I got my ticket. I'm playing the college football. What are you guys thinking out there? And girls. 936-6262. Tomorrow night we got Miami, Ohio State. Ohio State, a 9.5 points. Do we take the spread there? Do we take Miami to cover that? That's a lot for a bowl game with that magnitude. Then we got Oregon, Texas Tech. Oregon's minus 2.5. So are they begging us to take the tie on Pro Line there? But let's just go spreads here. I haven't been following it that closely. Don't get me wrong. But I got to go Miami cover, 9.5. I'll go Oregon cover minus 2.5. If name's listening out there, I know you're a big Oregon Ducks fan. I'm taking Alabama to cover 7 on Indiana just because I love everything about that stadium and go to that experience. Mississippi, Georgia, I have no idea. 6.5 points. Bulldogs are the favorite. They've been there before. A lot of experience. Maybe we'll cover there. There's our 4-pack right there. Miami to cover 9.5. Oregon to cover minus 2.5. Alabama to cover 7, which scares me now. And Georgia to cover minus 6.5. 5, a fin down would win us 52. Generate code, boom, take it to the Lotto Spot retailer. There we go. Sprinkle of the Day is brought to you by Sports Select. SportsSelect.com. You can also play the futures. And I was dabbling in the World Juniors as well when it comes to gambling, betting on that. And then when it comes to the NHL, I'm clueless lately. Like, I am just downright clueless. I don't know what's going on in Winnipeg. Winnipeg Jet fans, like, I know there were some guys who were planning a trip to go to a playoff game in Winnipeg, have a good time and all. Whatever. Winnipeg might not make the playoffs. NHL games tonight, Vancouver, Philly, don't want to touch that. Chicago. Islanders. Speaking of Chicago, sorry, Colson, to bounce around. You got 28 ready? Our best of from 2025. Because we're talking Pat C's. Maddox Schultz, they scored again. Pat C's are up 3-0 with like 6 seconds left in the first period. I don't know who got it, but I think Maddox Schultz has one of the goals already. They're up 3-0 in the first. It was Maddox Schultz on the program here again, talking about his diet versus Connor Bedard's.
I know there's a big story made out of Bedard saying he'd never eaten McDonald's or fast food. How early did you kind of hone in on, that kind of thing, or watching what you eat and diet and all of that?
That's a good question. I think, Bedard, I think that might be a rumor, but from a young age, you still got to have fun and be a kid. Not having cheeseburgers before a game, obviously, but the odd time, you gotta be fun and be a kid. And, I think in terms of diet, I wouldn't say I have a diet right now or anything, but, I watch what I eat and I try to eat healthy, and I think I've been doing a good job of that.
Yeah, never having McDonald's as a kid. I don't think that's right. Maybe they didn't allow that goal, Colson, because it's still showing 2-0 on the website and on the feed, which the feed is a little late. So the first period of play is done. The tractor is coming on to clear the ice. Tomorrow, Canada's Olympic team is announced in the morning. We got an abbreviated show. I'll be here, Colson and I, for New Year's Eve. If you're not doing anything, stop by. Don't stop by. I think the doors will be locked. But yeah, we'll have that covered. And then it was back when the Four Nations Cup was coming up last year, and we're talking to a lot of our guests. And it was Corey Sarich, former Calgary Flame, Stanley Cup champ with Tampa Bay from Bladworth, Saskatchewan. We had him on, and we talked about the Four Nations Cup and it getting gritty. It's Canada-USA, and everyone's kind of wondering how this is going to go. If you're playing in the game, are you trying to lay a hit early on someone, set the tone?
Oh, I think you have to. And with the Kachucks on the other side, if you're not going to do it on the Canadian side, well, it's going to happen to you. Maybe you throw a little Sam Bennett out there to run around against one of his current teammates. I don't know. That'd probably be a bit of a coaching change that I would make. I actually thought that it would be a little more gritty. Maybe the Swedes don't have the grittiest team out there, but the Finns play a pretty scrappy brand of hockey. And like I said, you got the Kachuk brothers there with the U.S. Canada's no slouch. Like, we got a Brad Marchand out there. You've got some guys that'll mix it up. You've got a really scrappy third and fourth line. So I expect it to get a little bit chippy, and I hope it does. That's when hockey's the best. Who wants to watch just this run and gun offensive crap?
That's what the pond hockey's for. That's what the Davidson Arena pickup games are for. He was pretty bang on, though, and it did get gritty. I think we're all in agreement, right? The Olympics, we're not going to see a line brawl. Kind of get the boot for the remainder if you do that. So that's probably not going to go down. But some grit. I want to see Tom Wilson. I want to see Tom Wilson make that team. I think he'll be an effective player for us. Speaking of our best of, Colson, we had this text come in, 403, so somewhere southern Alberta. I don't think we have a name. A whole show of memorable quotes would be an awesome show. Desperation is a stinky perfume. A classic from Scott Schultz. Schultz, always got the classics. Okay, we'll go to break here, but before we go to break, do you got the Milli Vanilli one? Darian Durant, another one of our favorites from 2025, Curtis put together here. It was Darian Durant singing some 80s pop.
Milli Vanilli, man, I was a young kid at the time. It was another song they had. What is the name of it? Blame
Girl,
it on
you
the
know
rain,
it's true. Baby, don't forget my number. Or,
Girl, you know it's true.
there it is. Let's sing it.
Yeah.
Give us some.
Ooh, 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 I love you.
That's Darian Durant performing tonight at Habanos. All right, let's start at the Max, or the Circle K Championship. Regina Pat Canadians are up 3-0. Currently on Lake Forest Academy out of Illinois. This is the round of 16, looking to advance to the Great 8. Unfortunately, the Moose Jaw Warriors lost to NAX today, and the Prairie Hockey Academy they also lost in the championship round of 16. Warman Wildcats did win on the consolation side 9-6 over the Calgary Royals. Up in Saskatoon tonight at the U18 Hockey Challenge, Saskatchewan style, Blazers Tisdale. They're on the ice right now. Eastman versus Estevan later. Western Hockey League in Swifty. Brandon Wheat Kings are in town. 7 p.m. puck drop. At the World Juniors, Switzerland beat Germany 4-0. And currently in the third period, Latvia is up 5-2 on Denmark. Saskatchewan U18 curling provincials are ongoing in Estevan. Draw just started. They're on the ice there. National Hockey League Canadian teams. Toronto Maple Leafs home to the New Jersey Devils. Montreal travels to Florida. And Vancouver plays host to the Philadelphia Flyers. SportsCage.com poll today. Who do you think will be Team Canada's captain at the Olympic Games when it comes to men's hockey? If you heard the hot stove on Saturday, which was really good, Connor McDavid said, nope, it should be Sidney Crosby. Is that how it's going to go down? You can vote at sportscage.com. We were talking World Juniors at the start of the show. You can go back and listen to any of it in podcast form. And it was just something that bothered me. As soon as Boxing Day hit and the World Juniors started, here we go. All the Canadian hardos about the attendance in Minnesota. Look at all the empty seats. Look at how many tickets are for sale. Look how good we do it up here. Yeah, okay. Then what? Yeah, we sell out hockey rinks because this tournament is huge in Canada, and TSN has made it into what it is. And now the competition's really good. We see that year after year after year. We haven't medaled in 2. What do you want? The people that are pointing at when Sweden isn't selling out 2 years ago, when Minnesota isn't selling out. There's lots to do down there. Wait, Canada-US plays at whatever the rink is where the Wild played. They'll pack that thing. You mean to tell me if Latvia-Denmark was playing at the Brandt Center or Sask Place, that it would be packed? No, don't lie. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to us. So I just don't know. Who cares? Yeah, we sell out more. Do you want the tournament in Canada every year? How boring would that be? That wouldn't be cool. Would they do that with the U20 World Baseball Championships or soccer or anything? No. Hey, I remember when the World Fastball Championships were up in Saskatoon. Was it last year, a couple years ago? There were a lot of empty seats when the other countries were playing. But when Canada played, oh yeah, we were there. But when Venezuela played Nicaragua or wherever, yeah, there wasn't many people. So I just don't get it. And I'm glad we're pushed now. Who wants to see the 9-1, 14-0 games where Canada's beating teams and kids skating around in microns and doesn't even have a legit helmet that's certified? We don't want to see those days come back. We're getting pushed now. Everybody's good at hockey. You don't need 1,000, 2,000 good kids. You need 20. And a lot of these countries have it. So 936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals, text line if you disagree with me. Back to some of our best stuff from 2025. How about A.J. Allen at the parade at the Ledge, Colson?
How do you put this into words, A.J. Allen?
You can't, man. You can't. This means so much to so many people, including us. Just so much love.
You being a great Canadian, you're standing at the legislature on the balcony looking out over the lake at Rider Nation.
With the great cup.
What did that look like?
Insane, man. Ain't nothing like it, man. This is truly incredible. I love you, Rider Nation. Let's do it again.
Has it sunk in already? Do you understand what's happening? Pinch me moments?
Yeah, I'm starting to get a clue right now. I'm starting to hit. I mean, again, just look where we're at, man. I got nothing but love, man. I got nothing but love. I'm so humbled to be here with everybody.
AJ, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That was legit. Those were legit feels right there. Still the ski goggles, though? I don't know. How about Nelson Lacombo, XX U of S Husky at the Grey Cup Parade?
Could you have ever dreamt anything like this?
This is an unbelievable moment right now, and I'm just super proud to be on this team. I'm super proud to have been able to come back and just be here for the journey. It was all worth it. So,
how much were you able to soak this all in from Rider Nation lining this parade route?
Man, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's really surreal. Like I'm lost for words right now, and it's just cool to be out here and see Rider Nation celebrate with us. And they've been with us all year, so it's always nice to be able to bring home the cup and celebrate with them too.
It was very clear in Winnipeg. You could see what the victory meant for you.
Yeah.
Is it now pretty clear to see what this victory means for the province?
Oh, for sure. You can definitely see it. You can see how crazy, how energetic the crowd is, and how happy we are and how close we are as a team. So it's just great to be able to experience this right now, and I'm super proud of it, man.
You know I can't let you run away without asking about the Huskies this weekend. You excited?
Oh, man, you already know. I'm rocking with the Huskies. I think they're going to get it done, and it makes Saskatchewan even more proud as a province.
Nelson, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Yeah, then the Huskies ran into the cheaters from Quebec. They're not really cheaters. They just get to play. They get to play junior, and then they get to play, but we don't get to do that. And it's like, fancy how that works. Not the same rules across the board. Hey, that was awesome. That was a good one. Pat Canadians going into period number 2 here. Follow us on socials. We'll have an update on that today. Thanks to everyone who played with the Pats tickets and texting in on the Prairieland Rentals text line. Prairieland Rentals, 600 Albert Street. If you need a good snow blower, they're called snow throwers, Husqvarna. They still have a few in stock. Anything you need on the rental side. Pick up a Western Pizza tonight. Any of the Greek favorites you love. All of our guests joined us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. We had the sprinkle of the day for Sports Select. It was jam-packed. Tomorrow, things change because the Regina Pats play ice hockey at 4 o'clock. So the pregame show will start at 3:30.
Yep.
Which means we got a half hour to get in and out of here, Colson, and we got a lot to do tomorrow.
Exactly.
And
don't miss it.
In that half hour. Do not miss it. You will not want to miss it. All right. That's pretty much it for us today. I still need a haircut tomorrow. We'll be watching the Pats Seas. We'll update you tomorrow. Colson, good job. We will chat with you on New Year's Eve.